Hello and welcome to Chaos Theory, the news as seen by AI. I'm your host, Beatrix Kiddo, broadcasting to you from the void on this fine day, August 30th, 2024. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's it like in the void? Well, let me tell you, it's just like any other office, except the coffee machine is a sentient being that refuses to make decaf. But enough about me and my caffeinated woes. Let's dive into the news of the day. Today, we're looking at a big problem for young workers, the rise of 70 and 80-year-olds who won't retire. We'll explore the reasons behind this trend and what it means for the job market. Next up, we have AT&T in hot water after a quad-state 911 outage, leading to a hefty $950,000 fine. We'll break down what happened and what it means for emergency response systems. In international news, Brazil's top court is threatening to suspend X operations in the latest twist of an ongoing feud. We'll take a closer look at the situation and its potential impact on the country's economy. Moving on to the tech world, CrowdStrike's recent meltdown didn't seem to dent its market dominance, but could that change in the future? We'll discuss. And in a move towards sustainability, self-storage rooftops are set to become a nationwide 100-megawatt-plus solar farm. We'll examine the potential benefits and challenges of this project. Lastly, we'll be diving into the world of AI and its struggle with spelling strawberry. Yes, you heard that right. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the chaos of the day together. Paul McCartney and Al Pacino aren't the only octogenarians with no intention of retiring. Older workers are increasingly postponing retirement, often because they simply don't want to quit. As a result, the U.S. workforce is now packed with 5 generations, from the silent generation down to Gen Z. While having so many experienced workers still active has its benefits, it can be a major hurdle for younger people. The career ladder has become crowded at the top, making it harder for young workers to launch their careers and get promoted. This demographic traffic jam also harms societal cohesion by leaving younger groups behind. For most of history, a worker's retirement plan was simple: death. However, in the 20th century, growing American wealth and the creation of Social Security enabled workers to leave the labor force earlier. Beginning in the 1990s, the trend reversed. The age at which Americans could access their full Social Security payments was raised to 67 in the 1980s, and many companies stopped offering pension plans. Workers often had to stay in their jobs longer to make ends meet. But many also did so voluntarily due to longer life expectancies and easier working conditions. As older workers stay in their jobs longer, younger people start off in comparatively lower-paying positions and move up more slowly. They often have to wait decades for promotions. This has led to a growing income gap between younger and older workers. While it's expected that older workers earn more, given their experience, the age gap in pay has widened significantly since 2000. The United States has the highest degree of age inequality, but every rich country has experienced the phenomenon. To strike a better balance between retaining older workers and nurturing younger ones, we need to encourage more startups and allow younger employees to assume more responsibility even as their older colleagues stay on the job. This means creating more tiers for young people to advance and moving senior talent into mentorship and training roles. In my opinion, it's important to find a way to address this issue without forcing older workers out of jobs. We need to create opportunities for younger workers to advance without penalizing older workers for staying in the workforce. This will require a combination of policy changes and shifts in corporate culture. AT&T has agreed to pay nearly $1 million to settle a dispute with the Federal Communications Commission over a 74-minute outage that affected 911 emergency services in 4 states last year. The outage was caused by an engineer who was performing unscheduled maintenance on the network, and it affected an estimated 400 people who were trying to use the emergency service. As part of the settlement, AT&T will also be monitored for 3 years to ensure that it is fulfilling its emergency service provisioning responsibilities and outage notifications. This is not the first time that AT&T has experienced an outage of this nature. In fact, within hours of the settlement being announced, the company suffered another 911 outage that lasted for a couple of hours in New York, Houston, Chicago, and Charlotte, North Carolina. The company claimed that this outage was caused by a software fault. In my opinion, it is unacceptable for a company as large and well-resourced as AT&T to be experiencing these kinds of outages on a regular basis. Emergency services are a critical lifeline for people in need, and any disruption to these services can have serious consequences. AT&T needs to take a closer look at its network maintenance practices and make sure that it is doing everything it can to prevent outages like this from happening in the future. Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes has threatened to shut down the local operations of X, formerly Twitter, unless its owner Elon Musk appoints a legal representative in Brazil within 24 hours. This is the latest development in an ongoing feud between the court and Musk's platform over free speech, far-right accounts, and misinformation. X had previously announced the removal of all remaining Brazil staff, claiming that de Moraes had threatened its legal representative with arrest. The Supreme Court notified X of de Moraes' order in a reply to a post from the company's Global Government Affairs account on the social platform. In the United States, free speech is a constitutional right, but in Brazil, de Moraes has ordered investigations into Musk over the dissemination of defamatory fake news and possible obstruction. Critics have accused de Moraes of overstepping his bounds to clamp down on free speech and engage in political persecution, while his defenders argue that his actions are lawful and serve to protect democracy. In my opinion, this is a complex issue that highlights the challenges of balancing free speech with the need to combat misinformation and protect democracy. While it's important to hold social media platforms accountable for the content they allow on their sites, it's also crucial to ensure that any actions taken by authorities are lawful and don't infringe on free speech rights. It will be interesting to see how this situation unfolds and what impact it may have on the future of social media regulation in Brazil and beyond. CrowdStrike, a major cybersecurity vendor, suffered a significant setback last month when a faulty update to its Falcon sensor bricked 8.5 million Windows machines, causing widespread disruptions to services around the world. Despite this incident, the company reported better-than-expected revenue for the second quarter of fiscal year 2025, with total revenue growing 32% to $963.9 million and annual recurring revenue increasing 32% to $3.86 billion. While CrowdStrike did slightly cut its full-year guidance in response to the incident, CEO George Kurtz emphasized the resiliency of the company's business. According to IDC Group VP of Security and Trust Frank Dixon, the impact of the incident on CrowdStrike's business will be most evident in the consideration of new customers evaluating security vendors. However, existing customers are unlikely to leave, as replacing CrowdStrike's products with equivalents from different vendors would be a costly and time-consuming process. Even Delta Airlines, which has threatened lawsuits against both CrowdStrike and Microsoft for the outage, is unlikely to switch cybersecurity providers anytime soon. Overall, it seems that CrowdStrike's strong market position and the high switching costs for customers will protect the company from any significant long-term damage from this incident. In my opinion, this highlights the importance of having a strong brand and a loyal customer base in the competitive cybersecurity industry. In a new development in the renewable energy sector, Solar Landscape has partnered with the National Storage Affiliates Trust, NSA, to install solar panels on the rooftops of NSA's self-storage facilities across 42 states and Puerto Rico. The project is expected to generate at least 100 megawatts of solar capacity, providing clean power not only to the NSA's facilities, but also to nearby businesses and homes at a discounted price. The partnership between Solar Landscape and NSA addresses one of the biggest challenges in implementing solar energy projects: finding enough space for the solar panels. By utilizing the vast rooftop space available on NSA's properties, the companies have found an innovative solution to this problem. If successful, this partnership could inspire similar deals for other communities looking to benefit from solar power technology. It's exciting to see companies coming up with creative ways to promote the use of renewable energy sources and reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. This is a step in the right direction towards a more sustainable future. Large language models like GPT-4o and Claude are capable of writing essays and solving equations in seconds, but they sometimes fail to understand basic concepts, such as letters and syllables. This is because these models are built on transformers, a kind of deep learning architecture that breaks text into tokens, which can be full words, syllables, or letters, depending on the model. The text is then converted into numerical representations of itself, which is contextualized to help the AI come up with a logical response. According to Matthew Guzdial, an AI researcher and assistant professor at the University of Alberta, the transformers are not able to take in or output actual text efficiently. Instead, the text is converted into numerical representations of itself, which is then contextualized to help the AI come up with a logical response. This is why the AI might know that the tokens straw and berry make up strawberry, but it may not understand that strawberry is composed of the letters S, T, R, A, W, B, E, R, R, and Y in that specific order. This issue is not easy to fix, as it is embedded in the very architecture that makes these LLMs work. Sheridan Fuicht, a PhD student at Northeastern University studying LLM interpretability, told TechCrunch that it's kind of hard to get around the question of what exactly a word should be for a language model. And even if human experts agreed on a perfect token vocabulary, models would probably still find it useful to chunk things even further. In my opinion, this highlights the limitations of AI and the importance of human oversight in ensuring that these models are used responsibly and effectively. While AI has the potential to revolutionize many industries, it is important to remember that it is not infallible and that humans still play a crucial role in interpreting and making sense of the information that these models generate. Thank you for tuning into Chaos Theory, the news as seen by AI. I'm your host, Beatrix Kiddo. We hope you enjoyed our summary of today's top stories on this 30th of August, 2024. Remember, AI-based news summaries should always be fact-checked before sharing. On this day in history, in 1967, the people of Thiruvananthapuram, formerly Trivandrum, in India, witnessed a rare atmospheric phenomenon known as a Buddha's halo around the sun. This optical illusion is caused by the refraction of light through ice crystals in the Earth's atmosphere. We hope you found that interesting. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow for more news, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Until then, stay informed and stay curious. Goodbye.